Going on?
We're back. We're back.
If you can't hear us, can you hear us? I think we're on. If that intro is not for
restart the stream. We had a really slick intro, too, guys. You missed it.
It was classy.
You guys missed it.
It was classy to match our awesome background music. Thank you very much, DJJ. GJJ. I like that. We have an awesome show for you guys tonight on WFS Live. Per usual, Mr. Jason McCutcheon, Mr. Bobby Burns, coming in from Minnesota. What's up, Bobby?
Not too much. I just ate a chip.
Eating a chip is one of life's great delights.
And by,
not when you need to talk at the same time.
By chip, do you mean like some kind of healthy carrot chip? Or, because we always eat disgusting
Well, you tell me.
Yeah,
we talked about chips, didn't we? This is Sun Chips Garden Salsa. In my opinion, the best chip on the market.
That sounds pretty good. I don't think I've had a garden salsa since I was a young lad.
I fixed the levels, guys.
Ah.
I fixed the levels. Should be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we talk about snacks a lot because wedding filmmakers. Oh, I like that joke, by the way. We have a lot of good food jokes on the stream too. Remember last week we had beef on bread? I've been calling
beef on bread. Classic, really.
I've been calling it beef on bread since then, so I love that.
Beef on bread.
We hope you all are calling it beef on bread as well. Let it live in infamy.
What's up, Drew? Thanks for becoming a member. We do have memberships. So, hey guys, while we're hanging out, letting people load on the stream. First of all, I want you in the chat. I want to hear your opinion on this. This is Jared's first time being exposed to this. So, Bobby, why don't you tell him about the new drone by DJI?
Yes. So, the chip. All right, here we go. So I'm pumped for this. We're not sponsored by them or anything like that. Maybe someday. Yet, exactly. I would love to know what you guys think about the new Mavic Air 2S. Now, I never used the Mavic Air. I skipped that one. I've had like every Phantom ever made, and
Same.
both Mavic Pros or whatever. I don't know, Mavic and Mavic Pro. But I'm pretty pumped. I'm not going to lie for the Air 2S. Now, I will say this comes in conjunction with, I think, my gimbal going out on my Mavic Air Pro 2 or Mavic 2 Pro. Sorry, there's so many words.
So many words.
So I think I'm needing to replace that. I actually need to test it like tomorrow. But we've had rain for like 4 days. But if I do have to buy a new one, I think I'm buying the Air 2S, like 1-inch sensor. So it's basically the Mavic 2 Pro camera in an even smaller body. So it's basically like what the Mavic was to the Phantom, but like cut in half again. Like that thing like fits in your palm. It's so tiny. So I love that. It does not have adjustable aperture. That's the one difference that I've seen that would impact me. But I use ND filters all the time, so I'm not too worried. And I think Jay, you mentioned this too, and I saw this. It is a downsampled 5.4K image with 0 pixel bit.
Is the actual file that's giving you a 4K file downsampled from 5.6K?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I didn't look too much into it.
So this is a great thing because you're getting a lot more sensor power, and you're not like one of the things that if you do aerial photography or videography, pixels really actually matter a lot in aerial work. Like a very beautiful sharp image when you're dealing with all these tiny little leaves and you're flying by, it makes a big difference. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So what are your thoughts?
I just want to know if it will explode into a million pieces if I crash it into a barn, because this tends to be my main problem with droning. It's actually, we really haven't had much problems with it smashing into million
I've
pieces,
crashed a drone a lot. I've never broken a drone.
I was gonna say the same thing. I have like 3-ish, like just straight on, like full blown crashes.
What's your worst crash, Bobby? Let's play this game.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I got one on video. We'll play it next week.
What's up, everybody who's just saying, I'm just gonna say hi, and then I'll just Drew, what's up? Tyler, we got Tyler Harrington in here. That's pretty sweet. Good to see you, man. Been a little while. John, Visionary Weddings, what's up, everybody? Yeah, so my biggest drone crash. I think the worst one, I was shooting this like camp in Idaho, and we were on a speedboat with like a bunch of students, like 10 of them, and it was this really tiny thing.
I like where this is going.
There's no blood involved, don't worry. But I like did not feel comfortable launching from the like ground or the floor of the speedboat because there were just so many people around. Like if I had just like gone like a little bit left or right. Like I would have just chopped somebody's legs. Yeah. So I asked one of these students, I was like, hey, can you just like put your hands out like this? This was a Phantom.
Oh, but Phantoms were, if you have never used the Phantom, that's like the controllability like down here compared to.
Yeah. It's not the same. So yeah, I asked him to just hold it out like up, like this, so it was away from everybody. And he ended up, and so I was like, I turn on the motors. I'm like, I'll just tell you when to let go. So I'm like, not let go, because it's just supposed to be resting on your hand. So I'm like trying to shoot it off, and I realize he's holding, because the Phantom has the legs, so he's holding onto him like this. And so it's just, he's basically just holding this thing down, and I'm yelling. I'm like, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. And then I
pulled him off
motor,
the ground, and he was 20 feet up in the air.
And we haven't seen him since. But I killed the motor, and right when I kill the motor, he lets go, and it just drops off the boat into the lake.
Nice.
In his defense, though, he felt really bad, and he jumped in after it. He probably it was probably under for like 15 seconds or so. I flew that drone for another 1.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask.
Berriman, go ahead and just click. There's a members area in YouTube.
It's the little join button next to subscribe.
Yep. Members get a couple perks. We're actually doing a members, just like a business kind of Zoom next
Q&A
next Tuesday, 3:00 Eastern next Tuesday. So anybody who wants to hang out and get some business advice, ask questions, hang out with the community, we're doing that, so you can become a member, and then you get invited to some stuff, as well as other perks. Anyway, let's talk about our sponsor, Bobby.
Yes, let me grab them. So today's stream, just like a lot of our streams, sponsored by YOLO Live. They create the YOLO box, which I am holding upside down. But it's not powered on, so how could you tell? YOLO box, a really small, awesome device for live streaming. I don't know if you guys have introduced live streaming through the pandemic or just on your own before that or even after that. We have. It's been awesome for us. We've done a handful of them. We charge like $1,000 a piece, only if we're already booked for the wedding. It's more if we aren't. This thing costs like $800, $900. We're going to link it in the description if you want to check it out. But this is an all-in-one live streaming and switching device. So you run your cameras into the top. You can run multiple cameras, audio sources, plop this on your cold shoe, hot shoe, whatever, or wherever you want. And you can just live switch between the different cameras for a ceremony or something. So really awesome tool, pretty well built. You can record into it. You can use Ethernet. You can use Wi-Fi. You can even use a SIM card as well. So we'll dive into it a little bit more later. Let me get you guys the link. I'm running the chat today. So many thanks to YOLO Live for making an awesome product. And not only that, but a product that I think all three of us used before they were a sponsor. We like them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a cool solution when you think about like a monitor that also has 4G, that also it does all the stuff. It's just like convenient. It's great. So
I would say too, YOLO box, it's not for just the nerds. Like I think a lot of people are like super intimidated by like, oh, live streaming, that must be really difficult.
Well,
makes
I
it
will
super
say
easy.
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think you should be intimidated a little bit by
live streaming is
even with an easy thing. Yes.
Yeah. This makes it as easy as possible, I will say.
Yeah, as easy as it can be. So I did fix Tyler. I think I dropped it a little more. So you guys, thank you for the feedback on the stream. It's a little challenging sometimes for us to see, but let's get into some films, guys. So basically, if you don't know how we do our films, basically we have a couple things we're looking at. We're looking at cinematography. We're looking at editing, of course, story is a component. And then we're kind of looking at audio. But that's, of course, challenging
a little bit.
because, so mainly more sound design, not so much how exactly well is it mixed, because we know there's limited, you're getting some YouTube issues, but we do think we can still tell a lot from the sound, especially if you're like, okay, how good was the song, or how good were the sound clips, all that. So basically, I'm going to be playing it. Bobby and Jared are going to kind of be taking the brunt of the feedback on the films. And yeah, you guys ready to get started? So we're actually going to do from DeLuca Films. This is our first film today. But before we do that, Jared, who's our last person? The person in red?
Hey guys, I just hit you with the link if you want your films reviewed.
So
submit it at the link.
Matthias, you didn't provide us a licensing link for your song or the name of the song or anything. So we really do want to review your film. We're going to do it last, so that way we can cut it out of the stream if we have to. But at the end of the day, we do want to remind you guys, if you want your film critiqued, please make sure it's licensable, your music. That's Wedding Filmmaking 101.
And what are the groups that people can currently?
Epidemic Sound, Wedding
Soundstripe,
Soundstripe,
and
MusicBed. And we're open to suggestions. Yeah, we're open to suggestions for anything, of course. But we got those right now, and yeah, at least be able to license it somewhere. Even if it was Artlist, maybe we could you could send us the license. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
there's got to be something. It can't just be, I mean,
A
we all
song
know
you-
the rules.
Well, I hope not everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, true. All right.
So you could.
So before we hop into this first one, though, while you guys are here, if you could hit the like button, we would appreciate that. Helps us out. And Phil brought up a good point about the YOLO box too. That it's basically all in one. You don't have to bring a laptop and all these cords and a router and all this stuff. So, love that. Good point.
I agree. All right, you guys ready for this?
Let's get it.
I didn't do that very elegantly.
Kylie, it is impossible for me to put into words the amount of love I have for you, but I will try my best. You have stuck by me through the best and worst and loved all that I am. You have helped me and continue to help me become the finest version of myself that I can possibly be. Over the past 10 years, you've showed me what endless love looks like.
Right away, I just wanted to say, guys, what do you think about this color?
I really love it. That was kind of my first thing. That first shot, I was just like, I like this color. Do we have info on what this is shot on?
Yeah, why don't we can we read what are the specs, Jared? Give us the little story thing on the far right.
Specs are gonna be. Oh no, that's too far. Sorry,
Too far right.
too far right. Oh, this is a whole thing.
Yeah. Why don't you walk us
right.
through the film.
Okay, so Michael says it's a COVID backyard wedding. It rained all day, but what's funny is that it rained during the in-between moments. Rained before the ceremony, but not during. Rained during the first dance, but not during. Luck was on the scuttle side. Blah, 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 blah. This is all good, Michael. I'm just trying to skip ahead.
Yep.
Let me see. We used the Sony a7S III, both angles, 55 millimeter Zeiss lens, and the Ronin S all day. So Tascam said the Tascam that connects the microphone was a lifesaver since they did not have a PA system. Investing in backups is the best. So Sony a7S III.
Beautiful color though.
Or no, Sony a7 III, not the S.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, it's beautiful color. Really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a big sucker to when you can have really nice greens.
Well, here's the deal about Sony is it can be the best. I think it can be the best if you know how to color correct. Most people have a hard time with that. So that's why you got
It's gotten better
Sony
though.
color.
Even
Definitely
the
gotten better. The
Yep.
A7 III is a big step up from A7S2.
I
you
mean,
go.
even when you look at the skin tones here, they're warm, but they're not spray tanny.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So good job. His color's always great. So.
Endless love looks like, and every morning I fall more in love with you. I am continually amazed by your inner and outer beauty. I love you more than words can express and will continue loving you for the rest of my life. Committing the rest of my life to you is easy because I cannot and do not want to imagine what my life would be without you, my best friend and the love of my life. I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for us.
Sometime around the fall of your grade 10 year.
Are you in the chat? Let's see.
Yep.
Is he?
I
in
am.
there?
Oh, is Michael?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so my question is, are these details are they shot handheld? They must.
So that's one comment I think I'm going to comment on for sure.
Sometime
I think this is handheld. I'd be curious to know your guys' thoughts. For me, and you guys in the chat too. For me, one of the things that I really don't like doing handheld is trying to emulate a shot that is more of a gimbal shot. Now, this shot of the plates and the fork is kind of just like that half rotation. I think that works.
You can get that.
You can get that, I think, because you can do it all from your hips without moving your feet. But I think the second you need to move your feet, you're in the territory of what should be a gimbal shot.
Or slider.
Or post zoom. Like I think you did a post zoom at that ceremony shot there. So yeah, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. I don't like doing that because I think you get that bounce even in slow motion.
Yep.
I reserve that for like, I'm not going to do a tracking shot handheld.
Yeah, I agree. I think as soon as
in
you
a pinch, maybe.
as soon as you take that first step, that's gimbal territory for sure.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's important to like be aware of that in your brain and hold yourself to that.
Yep.
Because I've tried stuff like that with a handheld setup, and then I get in the editor, editing program, whatever, and I'm just like, why did I do this?
Yeah. For a lot of people transitioning, because I think handheld has really gained popularity, seems like in the last like 2-3 years, a lot.
Definitely.
With IBIS kind of taking over the game. And it's been a challenge. Like, Bobby, we just switched from doing like, I think we still will have the teams shoot a lot monopod. But we just switched, and I just shot a wedding over the weekend without a monopod for the first time in a long time, at least.
Well, we've done some Huxley weddings without it.
Some Huxley weddings, without IBIS.
Phil,
which
I like it. I like that comment, Phil.
But also, I shot this wedding over the weekend, and that was the thing, was like switching to doing handheld, and that's a challenge I think for a lot of people.
Speaking of that wedding, people can watch this whole wedding BTS coming out next week.
Yep.
So we're dropping our first BTS next week, and you're gonna watch the whole behind the scenes solo shot Fujifilm wedding that Jared shot. But literally, we were talking about this exact thing, which is like trying to emulate slider shots and all this with handheld. It's just tricky. This is one thing I will say as an editor. When you shoot Blackmagic, for instance, I will shoot 6K for a 4K timeline, and I will stabilize the crap out of it. If I have to shoot handheld, and it looks fine because you have so much extra pixels, you don't need to do all warpy stuff to it. If you have enough resolution, you can end up emulating some slidery stuff.
Yep.
If you have enough resolution to either, there's a gyro stabilizer or whatever is in your thing. So if you don't have the resolution, you can't really do it. So anyway.
Barrowman.
Are we reviewing, Barrowman's? Because if we are, we can get to his question during his film, because I think he's on tonight.
Okay, great. Yeah, Barrowman, we can
Is
hold
that
on.
right?
We should get back to the film.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Time around the fall of your grade 10 year, a girl named Kylie started hanging around a lot more around our house.
Nice.
You lit
Yeah,
up
that's
when
good.
you were together. You always supported one another, whether it be school, work,
Really good.
play, or life in
That's
general.
some really nice color and
You
lighting.
both have created a wonderful home and life
Those
together,
zooms are nice
and
too.
have worked so hard to make all of your dreams come true.
There's no doubt in my mind the two of you belong together, and this is exactly where you should be. The connection you both share is
I want to look at this. Look at this. And I'm going to say this this is a compliment. This lame portrait session that he was able
That you were able to get good stuff with.
It helps when the couple really likes each other.
Oh,
Say
yeah.
that. You could tell this couple is like all about each other. So that's helpful. Sometimes that isn't the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, but nobody would think like, oh, this is ideal. Nobody, but like by actually sticking with their guns and like putting them in a comfortable position and like, of course, good light.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It helps the film a lot.
Yep.
this is exactly where you should be. The connection you both share is an example to us all of what true love is.
So let's raise a drink
Yeah.
to the two of you. May you have a long, happy marriage together. So may every day be a new challenge, but may every day be a great day. Love you both.
Show off the screens.
Now may the love which has brought you together continue to grow and enrich your lives. May you meet with courage the problems that arise and challenge you. May the happiness you share here today be with you always, and may every word you have pledged here
Not into that.
Yep.
I was going to mention that too.
Same.
Little tilt.
be a living truth in your lives. Danny and Kylie, we've heard your promise to share your lives in marriage. We recognize and respect the covenant of marriage that you've made here this day before us as witnesses. Therefore, in the honesty and sincerity of what you have said and done here today, it's an honor and a privilege to declare you as married. You may now seal your vows with a kiss.
That's a nice edit point.
Yep. Really good use of music.
Boom. Good. The movement of the kiss, not just the finish kiss.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what when you can good editors can not just time the ending of the shot, but they get the movement of the song to the shots. I like that. It's good stuff. Kind of like all this wacky handheld. Feels good.
I think it works in this scenario.
Okay.
Little rainbow.
All right.
Danny, spending the rest of my life with you has been the
Show
easiest
off.
choice I've ever made. I have been lucky enough to love so many versions of you. Getting here wasn't the easiest, but there's nobody else I would rather grow with. I can truly say that today I get to marry my best friend. Thank you for loving every part of me, for making me laugh when I want to cry, and for always keeping me grounded. I know that whatever life has in store for us, we can handle because we are together. I love you.
I kind of like the first look at the very end, Mike.
There's a lot I liked about
kind
that.
of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, a lot to like there. What's your just general thoughts?
Bobby, go ahead and hop in.
Yeah, I can go first. I mean, I think the one thing that bugged me, I already brought up, which was kind of trying to emulate a gimbal with a handheld setup. With that said, there are a couple things like more in, a couple things that I just thought about that I really, really do like, which is that I think this wedding is a great example of two things. One, something that we go through a lot, which is that my guess is, and maybe you weren't, but for me, a scenario like this, I'm like kind of scared going into a wedding like this, a backyard wedding, and I'm looking at the weather and I'm seeing it's maybe going to be rainy. Like that makes me really nervous. And to come away with something like this is like got to be one of the most like big sigh of relief moments, because you were able to create an amazing film that is so their wedding and them within even the restrictions of the day. And it helps having a couple that clearly is a little more like adventurous and on board with, they still got married outside, and I know they had a tent, but like, and I know you said the rain was kind of off and on, but like that can be really scary, and that's something that I think we all deal with. And the other thing is that I think it's a great example of why handheld can be so awesome.
Oh,
like
totally.
I know I complained about a couple of the shots, but in general, it works super, super well. And that's just my opinion on the ones that I didn't like. There are lots of shots that worked really well. And my guess just from looking at this is that this was a solo shooter, and the ability to get so much coverage.
Yeah, we're about to see some of this
very-
first dance stuff, Bobby.
Yeah.
Look at how much motion and how like aggressive he is with the shot, like that shot. Like he's gonna push into that. It's so intimate. It's so different than a lot of handheld guys I see.
And the ability to get, I mean, yes, that's your shooting style. That is your choice to shoot it that way. But the reason that you, Michael, are able to do that is, I think, in certainly some ways, due to you having a handheld setup. So I think this is a really great example of why handheld can be so powerful.
Yeah, I was gonna just
but there's nobody else I would
say
rather grow with.
just
I can truly say that
handheld
today I get to marry.
creates a sense of like,
Thank you for loving
especially
every
you'll
part of
see it
me,
during
for
like
making me
it
laugh
really
when I want to
shines
cry,
during
and for
cocktail
always keeping me
hours,
grounded. I know
dancing,
that whatever life has in store for
intimate
us, we
moments,
can handle because
all that
we are
stuff,
together.
and that's really what this wedding was all about. So I feel like it shined.
Yeah.
Jared, what do you think?
Bobby, I have that same dread going into this
honor
wedding.
and a privilege
Backyard
to
wedding.
Oh, yeah.
his marriage.
The things that I find are really interesting are how many, it seems like she changed like 3 times. So I'm kind of wondering,
I wonder if they do like another day.
another
It
day
did
or
seem like there
whatever.
might have been like the beach stuff might have been another day or something.
But Michael, I mean, great work, Michael, by the way. Every time you send in a film, it's marvelous. I love it. But the thing I like about this film a lot is he really focused on the highlight, which is the couple. Like the couple makes this film. If this couple was lame, like it wouldn't be this film. Like you would have to lean on some other things that were interesting. And a lot of times as wedding videographers, how often do we like try to cheat where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna try to shoot beauty shots of things on the location. Like here, you can't really do this. This is in someone's backyard with a wedding. It's a COVID wedding. Like all this stuff. It's pretty tough.
It's really well lit there too.
Cheat. Yeah. He did a great job. But the handheld stuff, I think I agree. Some of these shots I wish were a little bit more stable. That's my personal preference. This couple's gonna run. But maybe taking it to that next level of like varying shots a little bit. And if I was gonna, that's some minor critique. Michael, like, there's not really a whole lot to critique in this film.
Getting here wasn't the easiest.
It's up there for what it is. I think you made the most of it. You captured your style, and I think it's a pretty dope film. The audio, like you said, was great considering that they didn't have a PA system at all. So, like you said, backup upon backup. I'd be interested to see how he
amazed by your inner and outer beauty. I love you more
the
than words can express, and will continue loving you for the rest of my life.
But overall, Michael crushed it. Really good work.
My computer crashed. We lost Bobby. Sorry, guys.
Bobby's MIA.
I'm gonna get Bobby. I was gonna say while we're getting Bobby back, we might have actually crashed the whole live stream.
Sometime around the fall of your grade 10 year.
Oh yeah, that's right. A10 Mini. It's the best. Hardware streaming, better than software streaming. I'll get you back on here, Bobby.
Always supported one another.
Don't you worry.
It be school, work,
but anyway, I was gonna say, when it comes to like live streaming,
wonderful home and life together,
now I'm all distracted.
And have worked so hard to make all of your
when it comes to doing a
there's no doubt in my mind the two
like handheld shooting, the only thing I was gonna criticize is like when you have a shot that looks like it's supposed to be stable,
so let's raise
at least soften the movie, especially when you're shooting like wide stuff and it's going like at the beginning. Like some of the handheld I didn't really dig because I felt like you could have stabilized it.
Yeah. And some of those really aggressive shots that you mentioned would feel even more aggressive if it was kind of bookended by a little bit
May you
more
meet with
stability,
courage
right?
the problems that arise and challenge you.
A diverse
May the happiness you share here today be with you always, and may every word you have pledged here be a living truth in your lives.
But then you pop over to like something that has
Danny and Kylie, we've heard your promise to share your lives in marriage.
You're giving
we recognize and respect the covenant of marriage that you've made here this day before us as witnesses.
Can you chat with people?
Therefore, in the honesty and sincerity
of
what you've said
ask them if they can hear us.
It's an honor.
Wondering if, still here, guys. Phil says, so we're good to go. Guys, what I want to know, in an effort to stay on theme, we had a conversation in Wedding Film School Facebook group this week talking about drone and if people charge for drone or if you simply include it. We'd love to hear kind of people's opinions because I thought it was a kind of interesting chat. I know Bobby does things different than we do at Stop Go Love, where we charge for it. We probably do 20, 30 drone weddings a la carte. Bobby simply includes it. So we'd love to hear kind of your thoughts on why you do what you do, what the perks are to including it, what the perks are to having it as an a la carte. I think it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, let Bobby know that my computer crashed.
What does he want me to text him? I know for us, whenever we are,
we're back.
Jay is a little quiet. Actually, sorry to be fussy. Phil.
No, I like the fuss.
Spending the rest of my life with you has been the easiest.
I know for us when we do drone, and we have a separate person do drone. And the reason I like to do that is I can have our lead shooters really focus on what they're there to do. You don't have to like sneak it in between the cocktail hour and the portrait session. You can just kind of like do it and have another person do it at the best time when the lighting is going to be best, and also they can like drive down the street and get a very specific shot. I think the downside to that is usually when you have a dedicated person, usually that person's pretty expensive, right? When you say so.
I mean, I think in general, anytime you're able to do something where you're adding like another person to your team,
started
that's
hanging
good.
around
It
a
expands your
lot
capacity.
more
I mean,
around our
obviously,
house.
it changes the
Lit
films
up
you can
when we
make,
were
but I think
together.
the negatives
You
or
always
the positives
supported
outweigh
one
the
another,
negatives.
whether it be school,
Hey, you're back, Bobby.
work,
Can you talk a little bit?
play, or life in
Yeah.
general.
I
Hey,
don't
okay,
know what
everything's
everybody
back.
just said.
Everything crashed. We're all back. Everything's back. So let's just get back to the film. So cinematography, we think it's great. I do think a little
There's no doubt in my
post-stabilization
mind the
could
two people
have
belong
made it a
together,
little
and
better
this is exactly
here
what
and
we
there.
should
Even
be.
just
The
a
connection you
dabble
both
do.
share is an
You just want to
example
kind of
to us all
soften it
of
up a
what
little.
true
I
love
like it
is.
really crazy
let's
during the
raise the
dance.
drink.
Most of the time I like
The
the
two
motion.
of you,
But there are a few times
you
where I'm
have a
like,
long,
I would like
happy
to see it
marriage
stabilize a
together.
little more.
So may every
Editing, what do you
day
guys
be a
think,
new
just
challenge,
overall?
But may every
I want
day
to say
be
one thing
a
on
great day.
cinematography because I
Love
don't
you
know if it
both.
was covered. There are some shots specifically with the
Now
bride's
may the
dress
love which has
that I
brought you
think are a
together
bit hot.
continue to grow and
Maybe.
enrich your lives.
It looks a little
That
different
could
over
be-
here. I will tell you guys
that's-
that.
I will. Yeah, one thing, guys, I'm
May the
getting this kind of
happiness you
piped
share
into
here
me
today
through
be
Zoom.
with you
So
always.
It is a
And may
little
every
hot.
word you have pledged
The whole
here
thing is a
be
little
living
hot,
truth
but it
in your
feels
lives.
consistent throughout the film, so
Yeah,
I didn't
it
want
works
to.
in a
Danny and
lot of it, I
Kylie, we
think,
heard your
but-
promise
yeah,
to
I can
share
see
your
that.
lives in
I can see
marriage.
that.
We
Yeah.
recognize
What
and
was
respect
the next one you
covenant of
said?
marriage
Editing.
made here this day before us as witnesses.
Yeah, so I think
Therefore, in
Mike
the
is a great
honesty and
editor.
sincerity
I think
of what you've
he
said and
yeah,
done here
seems
today,
like he actually
it's
likes
an honor
music,
and a
which
privilege
is,
to declare
in
you
my
as
opinion,
married.
critical.
You may now seal
to
your vows with a kiss.
He got the points right. I think it was. I didn't see anything.
No, I loved
Oh,
it.
this is a bad edit.
I think the story was great. I honestly think the audio was perfect.
Good choice of music. Perfect for the day. Perfect for the couple. I don't have any critiques on it. I think it's marvelous.
Yeah, I think the editing was great. I think you took a wedding that, like, this goes to the shooting too, but certainly with the editing, in a large part of, like, you took a wedding that was a backyard wedding and you didn't make it feel like a backyard wedding.
Yeah, and I'll show you specifically, guys, just so that we can give the best feedback possible. Where is it? Back here. Back here is some shots where I was like, I would have liked to seen a little stabilization on, like, some of the group portrait sessions and, like, I'm not able to find it, but that's what I'm talking about specifically. Stuff where it's like it doesn't look good to be popping up. If you want it to be stabilized and whatnot. So anyway, hey, before we get to the next film, so great job, by the way. Before we get to the next film, I wanted to announce something pretty cool that we have going on.
What is it, Jay?
So we have a giveaway going on with Lark, Hollyland, makers of the Lark 150. Bobby, why don't you post the link to if you're wondering what it is, we have a review video that we made.
I did a review video. This is probably a couple months ago. Let me post it up in here. There it is, 3 times for you.
Yeah, so it's up there. And if you want to check it out, want to know about this thing, but we're doing a giveaway with them. They were nice enough. They said, hey, let's do a giveaway. We said, let's do it. So we got a giveaway going on. So head over to weddingfilm.school/lark150. There's a ton of ways to enter the contest, but basically we're giving away a special secret code every live stream. So we did one last week for those of you that joined. You'll be able to enter that. And there's going to be a new secret code this week. So head on over there and you can fill it out and get a secret code. And those will give you additional entries into the contest. So we're really excited. We want to really support the Hollyland user group. So if you want to join the group, head over there and join the group. But Hollyland's been nice enough. They want to give it away. This is a stereo microphone. So you did the review, Bobby. Why don't you kind of give people the quick highlights of this product?
Oh man. All right. So I probably should have reviewed my review recently. So things that I liked about it, I mean, it's basically it's very similar to the Rode Wireless Go 2 in some ways, like certainly in its form factor. You get 2 transmitters, each with lav mics, but they each have a built-in mic as well. I think it's similar. I don't know if you guys have been hands-on with it. I haven't been hands-on with the Rode Wireless Go 2, but I think it's a similar size to that.
Very similar. Very similar.
It goes into a receiver where you have some nice like dial controls for each transmitter. I believe you can record them mono or stereo.
Yes. Here's the good part that you're missing, Bobby. Charging case.
The charging case is really, really cool. So it all fits into this nice. It honestly, it works like AirPods. If you guys have AirPods, so you charge the case. The case has like an internal battery. I think it can charge everything like 3 times, but don't quote me on that. So you can charge the case up, and then you just pop it in the case and it charges the
Yeah, it's cool.
components, which
So
is
we're doing the
really cool.
giveaway. So head over there, and all you got to do is sign up for Gleam, which is our contest app, and then there's a bunch of ways to enter. You are going to have to turn your cookies on to get points. So if you're a person who's like, don't track me, don't follow me, you will get less points. You can't get some points, though. You can get the points from, the giveaway form and the secret code and all that. And then we'll be doing the giveaway next Thursday. So join the live stream next Thursday for a chance for another entry. And then, of course, we're going to do our giveaway next Thursday on the live stream. So why don't we do the next film? Jared, you want to tell us about who we are talking about and tell us about the film a little bit before we get into it.
So this is, I'm excited about this film because Andrew Barrowman is actually our #1 fan on Facebook. Or he was a rising star, at least.
Andrew, is this the correct film, by the way? Double check that we have the right film.
This is Andrew's first film he's ever done. So pretty exciting stuff. And honestly, pretty ballsy stuff, Andrew. To review your first wedding film, which kind of brings me to Bobby posting a review of his first wedding film he ever shot recently on the YouTube channel. So definitely,
Jared, let's do that next week.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that to our first wedding.
I got to think of how to not get sued or something.
Yeah.
I just posted it up with music that is copyrighted.
Yeah, so we could do that. That won't
monetize it.
That
won't
get
monetize it. I mean, check it, make it. I mean, so back in discussion here, guys. Check it, make it unlisted, and then it will tell you if it's going to give you a copyright strike or if it's just going to claim it. If it's just going to claim it, it's not a big,
I'll take the claim. I'll take the claim because it's going to be enjoyable for people.
But don't you guys? This is like 14 years ago, so don't be using copyrighted.
No.
Now.
We did this
a different time back then.
There was no place you could license music. Actually,
that wasn't a thing.
It didn't exist.
I remember
Music
the first
started
year.
Like 2011 or something.
Yeah, it was like I think the first time we licensed was like 12, 13, somewhere around there, and I was like, ugh. This stinks that if we're gonna.
It costs 10 grand.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is Andrew's very first film.
What did he shoot on?
He shot on a
camera.
Sony A7 III and an A6400.
Not a Canon GL2.
Nope.
Oh.
And not a. What was the one that I used to shoot on? The
XL1.
XL1.
If you're in chat and you know what a Canon GL2 is, give us a sign.
Thumbs up.
Say yes. I don't know, something.
Yes.
He said he had a 17-28, a 24-75, and a 70-80, all at 2.8. Tamron lenses.
70 to 80.
A 70 to 180. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's a weird lens.
A 10 millimeter zoom.
Yeah.
So yeah, really excited to review Andrew's first film. Really ballsy again to let us review your very first film. But that's the point, right? Is like we all want to get better. Here,
and I traded for him. I traded my first film for his first film.
There you go.
Yeah, and hey guys, and make sure you let him know. Give him all the encouragement down in chat.
Yeah.
And also like this video. It helps us a lot. All right, let's watch this. That was weird. Was that real in the song? Andrew, if you're in the chat, answer me.
He is.
Did you cut that, or is that actually how the song went? Well, just kind of like.
So I think this is a good time to bring up his question from before, which was helping with handheld shots. Like, what are some things that get rid of those micro jitters? And
so I don't think this is all handheld. Do you guys think?
Not all of it.
I think there's gimbal. We've seen some gimbal.
This looks like handheld right here. This shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to mention. I think it is tough, but the things that you're going to want to do is still create a little bit of resistance, Andrew. That's what I do, Bobby. I'm not sure about you, but create resistance with your strap. I like a hold fast strap. I actually used a hold fast all weekend, so I could actually have 2 cameras hanging down, and it looks mad snazzy. So pretty nice looking, and it also helps with your shots because you can create that resistance point, really kind of push against yourself a little bit and create smoother shots. But what about you, Bobby?
Yeah. So I have a video on my handheld setup, and I really like that. That was stolen and very slightly modified from Henry Martin's. So for me, handheld is newer to me. Last year was the first year that I opted to try it out. I really liked it. I felt way more creative with it. For me, one of the things that I needed was, again, the like points of contact, the strap, basically the way my rig is working, but also I needed weight on my rig. I cannot shoot just with like a hold fast. I just can't do it.
No.
Or, one neck strap. I just can't. I'm so picky with stable footage. That's why I haven't done handheld. And so I just can't do it with that.
This I'll say, Andrew, handheld is actually supposed to be shoulder held. That's the look you're actually simulating. You're not supposed to be simulating the look of someone holding a camera like this.
Because that'll just be major.
That's right. You're supposed to be simulating this look or something approximating this look, but where weight is distributed from the shoulder or neck or back, and really ultimately hips and to your hands. So your center axis is somewhere here. When you hold it like this, your axis is right below the camera. And so you get barrel rolls. So you want to make sure that you're spreading your weight either by, like Jared said, using a strap or something like that. I like to add some weight, but handheld shooting is really supposed to be simulating like shoulder mounted camera moves, like in movies where they're shooting on big Super 35 cameras and whatnot.
It's called a wristy. Like if your stuff looks like really like you're driving a steering wheel. And it kind of has those micro jitters, it's because you're wristing it. And kind of making it part of your body and really holding it, with that strap as the.
The other thing that happens with people handheld is when they're walking, they're like, "Oh, my footsteps are showing," and it's like, no, actually, your arms bouncing are showing. So footsteps.
I will say, I was going to say, definitely check out that video that we made on the handheld rig. But also, one thing that I want to say specific to me is I don't shoot anything slow motion. So that's why I have to use a rig like that. If I was shooting 60 frames per second for a lot of stuff, for a lot of like B-roll stuff, I think you can get away with a hold fast.
You can get away as long as you
or a strap or something like that.
You can get away with it. It is more work in some ways because you have to be constantly applying that pressure, instead of letting the camera do it for you. But either way, your point is there's a lot of ways to do it. You just don't want that center axis to be right in the screen. You want it to be back.
Yep.
Closer to your body. Anyway.
The other thing that I would mention too, Andrew, is really work on mastering that parallax shot. Like you did like a push in on some of that details. If you could scroll back to that, Jay, that would to me be better served as like a slight parallax shot. I think it's forward, Jay. You did like a push in. Push-ins like that are going to be really tough on a handheld. Like I don't know. I haven't really mastered a shot like that. Like that is wider. I wish that was tighter there. I want to see the details. That
I also wouldn't shoot into the windows like that.
Yeah. Shoot out a little bit
if I could avoid it.
Yep.
Is this the shot you're talking about?
That's the shot. Yeah, where it feels a little risky, kind of you're steering, wheeling it.
I think you could have fixed that with post stabilization. By the way, this is the shot I wanted to mention. So blown out and so poorly white balanced.
Yep.
So what you're dealing with is the light from the shadowy area casting blue, and then the light from the outside just being so bright. You gotta bring that exposure down, and it's tough. Maybe even wait for a different time of day to shoot that, but maybe you couldn't. But yeah, that's tough. Anyway,
I would say begin in the way you solve this. If it's really bright in there or whatever, learn how to use a histogram, guys, because you would be able to see, especially to the left of the cross there, that's completely blown out there.
It's gone. There's nothing you can get
It looks
back.
like, on your monitor too. It's completely blown out. And that would show on your histogram. So like bringing that down a little bit, it's helped me countless times. Bobby, do you shoot with a histogram?
Yes, I have my histogram in the lower left corner of my monitor. Yeah, really tiny, but enough. Basically, honestly, that's all I use it for. Is like, am I blowing something out that is important? And I'll blow stuff out sometimes. It happens, but not to this level. But I will say, I don't know what everybody is looking at. I'm looking at the live stream in one corner and it looks blown out, but in mine it looks way, way, way worse through Zoom. So.
No, it's bad.
Okay.
It's bad. Motion's pretty good. I mean, that looks pretty nice.
Yeah, nice movement.
Love does not delight in evil, but
bring the
rejoices
audio
with
in.
the
That was
truth.
nice too.
It always protects. It always trusts. always
I
hopes,
like this Brian Burns
always
stuff.
perseveres. Faith, hope, and love.
I think you have a good mix.
Well, I was gonna say the only thing I can tell here is that this is a cheap lens.
So when you listed the lenses, I was gonna say I'll bet we're gonna see that throughout.
Always hope.
Right here, the way that the lens is catching this light is a sign of cheap glass. It's like kind of milky blacks.
Yep.
So get better lenses. The end.
Always perseveres. Faith, hope, and love. Love never fails, and still these three remain. But the greatest of these
That's tough
is
light.
love.
Yeah, that's really hard.
Go back really quick, Jay, if you could. Go
To
back to that
the-
ceremony part, because I think we can dissect that a little bit and maybe help out a little bit. So on that side, I noticed on the last shot that we were critiquing about it being blown out. I would even consider, and it looks like actually, yeah, you have a camera on that other side. I would consider putting the wide shot or whatever you're going to be using on that other side.
200%.
Because you're not going to get that mostly blown out window on that side. So putting it on the other side and then maybe keeping your tight on the right side, because then you can kind of isolate on some of the darker parts like near the cross.
Well, and maybe you even get some nice hair light.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I would say though, to be fair, I don't know that I would run a wide from this angle.
that's
Not
what he's
this
saying.
wide, because
Yeah.
you have your. I mean, even if it was the opposite angle, like you're gonna have your camera. So basically, if you run the same thing from the other side, it needs to be a little tighter, I think, still, because your camera's in there. Like this, I mean, from this side, that microphone's in there. It's just the framing. I think you could do that.
if you had a wide shot in the back of the room in the opposite corner of this, it would look great because you'd have that window light and it would be lighting everything up, and it would actually turn that weakness into a strength. And so in a situation like you want to hide this bad window, and you can actually use the backlighting to your advantage on a tight shot, especially if it's really bokeh-y and blurred out and whatnot. So
I'm sure the light on their faces,
which
on
though
that
you're not
side
going to
looks
get
awesome.
with those lenses, probably.
no.
So
But I mean, I think you maybe made the best choice you thought you could, and it definitely could be much worse. So at least
Oh,
the
yeah, for
people
sure.
are exposed correctly, which is great.
Yep.
These is love.
Look at that fence over there. Again, that's really blown out in a very unflattering way. Yellowy.
But that's not an exposure
That's
thing
tough.
for me.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's a
faces
where
are
you're
right.
standing.
Yep.
I would be switching where I'm standing.
Yep.
Just in
And with
general,
this-
white stuff is gonna, when it's really bright, especially
Just
this time of
avoid
day.
it.
Yeah, you just want to avoid it.
Yeah. So this shot to me, and like I could be wrong, but something like what this shot says to me, and that's it's okay, but this says that you are tagging along with the photographer and you are not interjecting for what you need, because you are shooting off to the side, which is fine. They're looking at the photographer. That's fine. I shoot when they're not looking at me. I don't care about that. What I do care about is I would not shoot into that fence if I could avoid it. I would be with the photographer shooting straight on, and I would have no fear in standing right next to him or saying,
Yes.
hey, like, can I get this shot can I get the same thing for like 5 seconds?
Yeah. I really don't. We've moved away because we have a lot of shooters on our team, and this is a shot that would come back a lot of times where it's just like we're sniping with a wide angle, and I just don't really dig it that much. I think
Yeah,
if you
I think you
can
gotta
get
go
on
tighter or
get
be
it
more
tight.
intentional.
Yep. Get it tight. Get right next to the photographer so she's not getting in your shot. You know, I like a 70 to 200 millimeter. I'm not sure what does Sony have a 70 to 200, Bobby?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
freaking awesome. But I still use the Canon one.
Okay. I love them. Yeah.
That's because I don't want to pay like $2,600 for a lens or whatever
Yeah.
it costs.
Yep. So that's my favorite lens during these moments because you can just get expressions and like people laughing and get like nice little shots. And these wide shots,
nice
to me, they're
impression.
kind of
Your camera died, Bobby, just so you know. I was just going to say that actually the backlight there is beautiful, and if you were shooting the right direction, it would actually look amazing.
The photographer, the photographer has the best angle right there.
Yeah, just stand right next to him. It'd be great.
All right, let's
keep
go.
moving on. Bobby, you might need to restart your camera.
That stuff close up would be awesome.
Pretty solid right there.
That was nice.
There's a lot of like sophisticated.
Together we make a
sophisticated
strong
stuff he's
team,
doing.
and I know for certain that God has put us together for a bigger purpose than ourselves. Whether it's our marriage, to having a family, to doing ministry, we will be a light in the darkness for the people around us.
This color's so bad.
Yeah. What that color there?
The pink on the like, just the whole balance of the shot.
So
is just not flattering.
This is something I talked about a little bit in the behind the scenes that we're going to release next week, but the whole backlighting the dress can be really, really challenging. And I know it was like really in style, in vogue for a time. It was
And there's a time for it.
You put the dress in the window, and usually a dress has those cups, right? They have the chicken cutlets inside the dress, and usually that will be exactly silhouetted. And so you just see the 2 chicken cutlets in a dress. So I try to avoid the totally backlit dress nowadays and put it off to the side, because then you're giving yourself a nice little key light on your dress, and it's hitting it. It's kind of giving it a little bit of depth because it's shadowy on one side. So moving that to the right where it's not going to be completely backlit, I think would be helpful, because I could tell you're trying to bring back all those blues. You see the purple almost in the trees over there, because you're trying to recover so much in that image, and it's becoming kind of wonky in the background.
I wonder if this was really tweaked in post.
A little bit. I think it was worked on, because it's probably so bright. So bright.
Bruno's hitting me with that knockoff battery shame right now. You guys saw my screen when I had to replace the batteries. Hell yeah, I'm using the knockoff batteries, man. They cost like a quarter as much. You get like 2 for like a third of what a normal Sonary battery does, and they last just as long.
Bruno, I gotta side with Bruno on this one, Bobby. I'm just so sick of off-brand batteries after being
Bobby's wasabi power.
As Bobby's thing just goes out again, just proving the point.
Well, right now, right now I'm connected to a bank.
Okay.
And those are both dead apparently. So I don't know.
We'll just have you not on there for a few minutes.
Yeah.
We can hear you. You sound great.
Yeah. All
right. Okay. So anyway, love. I was gonna rip it on you a little bit. First of all, don't use auto white balance ever. No one. We will always tell you guys, you never use auto white balance. If you don't know how to white balance, we're actually releasing a video soon talking about white balance. But like, auto white balance will it will change the style of your film. B, it'll just change randomly in the middle of a shot, which makes editing really tough. You don't want to do that. That camera doesn't know what it's doing. You need to tell the camera, this is what I'm trying to shoot. Like, white balance is your color.
Yeah. And
way before a LUT.
It's hard, because when you first start this, like shooting a wedding, which by the way, Andrew, this is great for a first wedding.
Really good. That's what I was going to say. A lot of sophisticated stuff.
Yep. But when you're thinking about so many things, like you're not even thinking about shooting, you're thinking about timeline, you're thinking about not being in the photographer shot, you're thinking about a million different things. Auto white balance, it just allows you to like turn that part of your brain off
for the people around us.
So I get it.
And I pray that we are an example of God's redemptive power to everyone around us.
Let's do this film now.
Yeah.
I promise to be your very best friend forever. I promise to always put Jesus first and help you lead our family. I promise to love you unconditionally for as long as I live and always cherish you. Thank you for choosing this life with me and for loving me the way that you do. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for everything. I love you so much, and I'm so excited to go through this amazing journey together as husband and wife.
Will you, Cheyenne, receive this ring as a sign of Angelina's affection, sincerity, and faithfulness in her vows to you? And will you wear it as a sign of your own affection, sincerity, and faithfulness to your vows to her?
I do. Will you, Angelina, receive this ring as a sign of Cheyenne's affection,
those solo shots,
sincerity, faithfulness in his vows to you? And will you wear it as a sign of your own affection, sincerity, and faithfulness to your vows to him?
I do.
By the authority given to me by the state of Pennsylvania, and as a minister of the gospel, declare that you are no longer two, but one, husband and wife.
A shot like this, by the way, is where you're starting to see the lens again, like
struggle.
It's really struggling. The whole background's falling apart.
I'd be curious too to see how much Andrew, how much post color you did on these two, because it's starting to feel a little bit wonky with you see his shirt right there. It's kind of like purple-ish. So I just kind of wonder. And this is my experience with Sony, like shooting shots like
Yeah.
this, it always felt like this to me, and I could never really master it. So I just always went back to Canon because I was like, I really like the way my camera looks out of camera. But I think it really does come down to that lens choice.
Yeah, or there's what you can, first and foremost.
Because that's a tough lighting situation. That sun is shining literally right back into your camera. So
Yeah,
it's like,
you would need to get all flary with it, and really like a good lens would just allow you to create some unique, cool stuff instead of like this milky kind of whatever. And I will say in this situation, maybe you might want to crush it a little more and not have that milky.
Yeah, you could
flex.
do a little more with the color, I think.
But anyway, moving on.
Wow.
Yep.
Chae-young, you may now kiss the bride. It is now my privilege and honor to introduce to you for the first time.
It's weird audio.
Chae-young.
Yeah, I mean the mix is not good, and then the other thing is like I like the song; it's a cool song.
Cool song.
But I think you got to pick the pacing up for your edit when you're going to shift to a song like that. It's got to like, if you change feel on your songs that much, I feel like you got to change feel on your edit a little bit.
Well, we'll see. I haven't felt that way yet, but I feel like we're getting there. But I think he just disappeared. The officiant's voice was like gone, and you just heard the song there. So
yeah, I think the mix is a little it's whatever. But I will say one thing that I'm impressed with a first wedding, like the audio is pretty well captured.
Oh, the capturing of the audio is very solid.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Which I think can be a really scary. I mean, that's where you see a lot of people screw up.
I am wondering if he left two sources of audio in there. Because it sounds to me like there's a room sound and a mic sound.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if he had two sources of audio.
Yeah.
Morales.
Like you gotta hit this.
Good shot. Lovely. That's good gimbal work, though.
Yeah, that's good.
Dang, that almost got real dangerous there.
Dude,
They're those kind
hold
of
on,
people.
hold on. That dude has a fork. That's a fork.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like you're getting like stab marks there.
That's not a spoon. That's a fork. Oh man. Again, though, back to my original criticism of the song. The editing is not keeping pace with the song, and I don't think you have the shots for it. Like if you either have to shorten the song a lot and really jam that stuff in, or you have to know I got the shots to carry this song, which means like you have more and you can cut a little faster and bring a little energy into it. So anyway.
And going back to your handheld shots too, Andrew, like this is when you can really practice your handheld work. Like this is a pretty static shot on these guys having fun. Like have fun with them. Interact. This guy's trying to interact with you. Like get up in there. Have them have fun with you, because that guy has a lot of energy. Like match his energy.
Yeah, the
with
handheld
with
would have
your camera.
actually been nice here.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. That's really cool, dude. Really cool, dude.
Nice.
I think one thing you could do to upgrade that shot is
Cut it.
if you had a backlight,
just like how Christ
but,
loves and
get
cherishes
something
the church
just a
as his
little bit of
bride.
fill
I
on the
promise
front.
to always love
Agreed.
and cherish you as my bride. It is an honor to be your husband, so death do us part. Angelina Faye Morales.
So
that's an animation at the end.
yeah, I will go back to what I said, where this is a hard part. So to criticize it, I don't want to say I'm criticizing is not what I want to do, because your first wedding, you did not have enough footage at the end. I'm wondering why that is. But for the reception, it was all like the same shot over and over again. You're holding too long. I've been there in an edit where I'm like, oh shoot, I'm out of footage.
Especially nowadays with no one dancing, at least in the Northeast.
Oh yeah,
no one dances. So it's like, I wonder if COVID had to do a little bit with the lack of dancing at the end, and just people doing interesting things, or if there really just wasn't like interesting shots.
Well, that gets back to what I feel like we bring this up once, which is like, what were you on track to do? Because, it's one of those things where it's hard. This is what was it, like 5 minutes?
I think you said
4 minutes long. So, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Thank you for-
It's tough because I think it is hard to sell something much shorter than that.
I think he just didn't shoot enough. I think he probably either he was running out of cards, batteries, or just didn't realize how much he needed. Which is this is why you do this. This is why you do the critique. This is what I'll tell you. You need a lot more. You need a lot more footage. You need a lot more different angles. You gotta get in there.
Hey, Jay, turn down the music.
It's there now.
Okay.
Should be off.
This happened last time too. Everybody couldn't hear what we were saying while we're playing this in the background.
Yeah. Well, I do want people to be able to hear what they say. So what I will say is what I'm actually screwing up is not turning down the music when we want to talk. That's what I'm screwing up. So
I'm just talking about right now while we have it in the background.
There should be no music.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, you got to shoot a lot more stuff, and you got to maybe switch to that tighter lens, and just really I think the one place people need to overshoot is anywhere where they might need fast editing. Like you can use a shot like 1/4 as long during a pumped up song during the reception. So you actually have to get a lot more shots than people think. I think that's the biggest thing you see with inexperienced people.
Yep. Overall, Andrew, golf clap. Really good. Really
yeah, good. I mean, so a lot of sophisticated stuff here. A lot of the moves are sophisticated. Even the edit at the beginning where you're kind of like the way you hit this music right here. I'll show you guys one more time. He does like a couple little sophisticated.
That classic. What is that called?
Right here. Down, down, down. Like that's pretty good. Like that's a pretty sophisticated like editing move. A lot of people don't really learn that for a long time, which I don't know why, but good job. I mean, I can tell you watch our channel and you've learned a lot from us.
Do they call that the eyelid when it opens like that? What do they call that opening?
I mean, it could be an iris effect. I don't know.
No, it's not iris. I don't know what it is.
Love
like
does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth.
Especially in those drone shots, but
it always protects.
Some other stuff too,
it always trusts.
One place that you can focus.
Always
like,
hopes.
I know there's lots to focus
always
on.
Perseveres.
Wedding, but I think
Faith,
one thing that might
hope,
be even fun for you to go back into this edit
love never
and
fails,
play around with is
and still
doing
these
an
three
actual
remain.
color grade.
But the greatest of these is love.
Like the drone stuff, I think needed it, and you have some like good colors throughout here, especially with the kind of that like sun area.
It's very uneven. It's very uneven.
Yeah, but then you have some that looks like it's untouched.
This is I'll tell you what to do. Go through it, fix your exposures, then fix your white balance, then fix your saturation, then get a look. Keep it that simple.
Together we make a strong team.
Don't try to get really crazy with it. Just kind of make those things match. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. I think cinematography-wise,
doing ministry,
the video
we will be a
is
light in
still
the darkness for the people around us. And I pray that we are an example of God's redemptive power to everyone around.
It's off. Oh well. Can you hear us now? It should be good. Anyway, I think in general the like what he did for a first wedding film is awesome.
Oh yeah, like
like really awesome, like really good. Like I think there's like a lot of like he tried a lot of things, and that's part of what the weakness was a little is like he tried some things he wasn't quite ready for, but keep doing that.
Yeah.
Keep trying things you're not ready for. Keep putting those in your films. They're going to get better and better and better. The instincts are so good.
Yep. Yeah, Andrew's going to be a good filmmaker. This is his first film. He's going to be awesome. So, and he's submitting. He's hungry, and he's going to be awesome. So,
great.
They're saying that every time you play the video, Jay,
I know what they're talking about.
So it's confirmed. It's true.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
It's not a lie, and it's
so let's
mystery.
do it now. Okay, let's try it. I'm going to try it one more time, everybody. So I'm going to turn the music down. So can you hear the music now?
I promise to be your very best
Wait,
friend
there's like
forever.
there's a little delay.
I promise to always
A little
put
delay.
Jesus
Tell me if you can hear the music
and
now.
help you lead our family.
Stop.
I promise.
All right.
You should not be able to hear any music.
Let us know. Did you hear music during that? Bruno's saying yes.
What is going on?
Jeez.
Unless he's just messing with us.
Which would
we
be
need some more confirmation,
a
people.
great troll joke. I love it.
Oh, wait.
We just blame Jay. We just get to blame
This
Jay.
is my fault. 2,000.
Yeah,
You shouldn't.
no shit, it's your fault.
Well, I might have just. Now it should be fading in and out.
All right, what about now?
There you go. Bobby, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I just finished it. I need to grab another. This is
Wicked Awesome
Voodoo
BS.
Ranger, but it's the Juicifer IPA, so it's like a juicy, hazy IPA.
Are you an IPA guy? Is that your jam?
I like IPAs and sours. I'm big into, and like, have you guys had like smoothie, like milkshake stuff?
No, I haven't.
That stuff is pretty intense, but it's
Yeah.
really good.
I can't get into the sour stuff. That's my thing right now. Is like everyone's like, oh, try the sour beer, and I can't do it, man.
You gotta find the right sours. Like there's
Yeah.
sours that are like that same like golden color kind of.
I like
those are, like,
Sour Patch
fine.
Kids.
Dude, who doesn't like Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Someone
but you gotta
doesn't.
find the ones that are like they're like pink. You know what I mean? Like that's when you know, and they're like thick. Those
Yeah.
are some good stuff.
Okay, so
I gotta try that.
Let's just wrap the film up. Really good job.
Dude,
bunch
Andrew,
of stuff
what's
to
up?
bunch of stuff to work on, but I think overall you're going to be awesome. I think just pick a couple little things that we said and just try to tweak those. Don't change
like
everything.
each wedding, just focus on like one thing. Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I am going to do a better color grade. I am going to audio mix. That is going to be my focus. You know, I'm going to ask for what I need during the shoot. Whatever that is,
Yeah.
focus on one thing. It'll take you a handful of weddings to like put it all together. But if you focus on one thing,
Yeah. Keep it
That's the way to do
simple. I think exposure, white balance, composition. Keep it simple.
Get it.
All right, let's look at our next film. Who we got, Jared?
Next film, we have T. Newson, Terrence from TN Reels. Terrence is a regular contributor.
yeah, I think he's in the chat as well.
He's in the chat.
He is. I
What?
saw him earlier. He filmed on an A7 III and an A6600. That's all the information I have. So I'm excited to see the reel.
Sweet.
Yeah, Terrence submitted. Did he submit it like 2-3 weeks ago? It's the last one I saw.
Yeah,
But,
he's done a few.
Yep, done a few. And yeah.
And before we go, guys, before we go into that, I'm just going to post the link real quick. If you want to get your film submitted, here it is in the chat a few times. I'm hitting the wrong button.
This has been like our roughest live stream, guys. We
Yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of issues.
But there it is, guys. That's in the chat if you want your film reviewed. And remember, we do have memberships available. Hit the little join button next to subscribe on YouTube. It starts at $5. And that is giving you priority in getting your films reviewed. And it also gets you into a private membership group. And then we have some additional tiers or different options or whatever as well. So you can check that out.
Yeah. Also, we just want to remind you guys about the contest that we got going.
Yes, I'll post it up.
Head over there to win a Lark 150. And yeah, and also just thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Again, who's our last person?
Andrew?
Andrew.
Is Andrew
Yeah,
here?
Andrew was
Yep.
here. Yep.
Did he ever resolve his licensing issue?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Sorry.
That
not
was
Andrew. That's-
Matthias.
Yeah.
Mateus?
Mateus.
Math-
Mombach.
I have not seen his name.
Okay, so we're not going to do that film, guys. So this is going to be our last film tonight. Mateus, if you watch this, we're glad to do the film, but please give us some licensing information. Like even the name of the song would be great. And we will do it. And again, you guys, please submit early. The earlier we submit the films, the A, easier it is for us. And B, it allows you to get on the list. If you want priority, become a member. We would love it if you guys joined our group, which is on Facebook. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Tell your friends about the live stream. We want to hang out with more filmmakers.
Yep.
Yeah, invite people in. Hey, we've got Phil Caldwell asking what to do with the secret codes. Have we given out the secret code yet?
You have to go, you get an email, and you have to enter it into, you go back to the page and you enter and you sign in, and then there's a little place to enter the code. If you go back to the contest page. I believe that's what it was earlier today. So hopefully it's still there. If it's not there, guys, if there's any issues,
It's Jason's fault.
it could be my. I mean, I'm only doing everything. So, if you saw how crazy this setup is, it's crazy. But if you are having issue, guys, feel free to just email us on the site and let us know if you're having issues with the contest. And we will be glad to fix it for you. So yeah, here's our last film, and who's making it?
It's by Terrence Newson by TN Reels. And Terrence, that shot and Jason, you should restart it from the very beginning. But that shot looks awesome, dude.
The black
Your color looks so
black
good.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, black screen all the way.
I mean, it's kind of a staple of wedding films is like having a black screen. So
Staple of all films, really.
yeah. Oh, why is it doing this? This stupid thing.
Beef and bread.
Beef and bread. This is beef and bread all over again.
Oh, missed a kiss.
Maybe it was a bad kiss.
Yeah.
It was like, cut.
When she really cares about something or someone, she's gonna go above and beyond.
Terrence, you like those
Look at
tree
this
shots.
place. It's gorgeous. That's one.
Can we just pause and talk about tree shots?
I like that tree shot. It looked good to me.
Yeah. No, but just in general, it's just a thing. It's a wedding film trope, right? Tree shots.
Probably.
Like
Sunflare
tree shots.
I mean, every wedding film, like a couple getting married. Come on, guys. Like, keep it original. You know?
Yeah. Why do you have to feature the couple? I want to see a film that's more featured on their parents.
No, we're kidding. Hey, real quick before we keep going here, Misfit Productions is asking if their video is still being reviewed. Perhaps is your name Matthias?
No.
Matthias?
Kyle Adams is at the top, and that's Misfit. And I believe we had a licensing issue with.
Yeah, so this was to say, Misfit. We didn't realize that you used a song that cannot be like. There's no way you can license that song. So what we would be glad to do for you is do a separate review, just a private one at some point. If you want to hop in and just message us in Facebook.
Yeah, we can hop on Zoom with you.
Yeah, we can do that at some point because we can't play that song. We will get flagged. So anyway, sorry, man. Sorry for the confusion. But yeah, just reminding to everyone, you have to be able to license your music to submit it. So yeah. Okay. This is a pretty rough shot right here, by the way. This bounce. It's just. This is handheld. This shot, stabilize it. Put some stabilization on it. It just needs it. It needs it.
Someone, she's gonna go.
This shot right here.
I mean, look at this place. It's gorgeous. That's one example. But it really shows how much she cares, and because when she cares about someone and something, she cares deeply. And I really see that between her and Zach. They care.
Whoa.
That could use a light or something. There's something.
Whoa.
Is that just a different camera?
Okay, that's got to be a different camera. That skin tone looks off. It looks very green. Yeah.
They look like they're aliens.
Yeah.
Especially when you play it right next to the other one. That's pretty nice.
That's cool. I like that. I do think that could be like warmed up though. Still, it looks green to me.
And I'm very thankful that my sister has found someone like Zach to spend the rest of her life
That's good
with.
color.
Yeah.
Good light. That's overexposed.
He's like right on that edge.
That's
that sunlight
tough.
edge.
Tough
Look at
lighting.
that. Yeah, that's hard.
That's what you're doing. You're capturing the love.
Yeah.
Zachary, holy crap. I literally cannot believe we're here. A day we have talked
Holy
about for almost 10 years. Zachary, you are seriously a dream. Humble, selfless, caring, and you hold the biggest heart of anyone I've ever met. When
Wow,
I
that guy's
envisioned
country
and prayed
strong with that voice.
For what my husband would be, I had no idea what God had in store for me.
Sweet.
I bet they have 2 kids already.
Shut up.
Based on what?
Go now to your dwelling place.
Just based
during
on
the days of your life.
the feeling I get.
And may your days be good and long upon this earth and in heaven.
Whoa.
To love
Yeah, it could be broke
is not to
down.
love at one another, but to look together in the same direction.
I like that.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I'm noticing.
I don't like.
I'm noticing a lot. So the handheld stuff, it's not your strength at this point. because one of the things that you're doing is like in your edit, you have these micro jitters and you're not rolling past them when you make your cuts. You're just kind of like starting a lot of cuts with the micro jitter.
Yeah. So Terrence, love you, man. You're super involved in sending in your films all the time. It's awesome. I noticed from your last film, if I remember right, the last film that you submitted that I remember was almost all gimbal. So I'm wondering if you switched over to like doing handheld as like kind of like a new shooting style, trying something different. And I kind of wish some of these shots were gimbal because your gimbal work is awesome. If I remember right, like you were a very talented gimbal operator. So like kind of mixing a few of them, maybe Bobby feels different about really leaning on the gimbal work, but yeah.
I mean, I think anything can be overdone is what I would say.
Yep, I agree. You know, and I would just say some of these shots are awesome. I'm like, man, that light looks awesome. Your exposure is great. And then it's just like the handheld work feels like it needs a little bit of work.
Well, it's not just the handheld; it's the way you're editing the handheld. Like it's like
the shots almost like feel like sometimes they drop in, like they're like.
Like the shots, like you tried to purposely go as the beginning of a shot, and it's very jarring. It's one thing if the shot's like going and then there's some movement, which I do think you should stabilize a little bit, at least to soften the movement. But it's another thing when the shot goes at the beginning, which happens a lot. Like it's got this, and then the shot goes go.
I also think I think this shot is handheld, and I think you're trying to do a rack focus. I think that's pretty tough to do.
Tough to do handheld, and I mean, the butt shots, man, they get me. I don't know if I like them.
Yeah, I mean they're not the best, but like you can see like the way it drops.
That's dope.
Yeah, it looks really good.
That's awesome.
And then out of that, you kind of just drop in. And it's just they're dropping it like it's hot with their booties. so just in general, I think, like I've noticed that with the handheld. So it's not just the shooting. So people go like, oh, how can I get it better at handheld? Well, handheld's gonna have jitters. You don't have to put them in.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Be selective.
Yeah.
Sharon Longwell. It's crazy that this is the last letter to you I'll ever even start with.
This is an opportunity to shoot really great light, and you chose not to, and I'm wondering why.
Yep.
You don't have to shoot in this bad light. It's a reading. You can put it wherever you want.
Yeah, you probably had complete control here.
Yeah, Terrence, you love those trees. Put her under that tree, man. Like in that nice little like spotted light backlighter. Sing.
Yeah. Basically, the dynamic range of the camera. There's no way in heck, even the best camera is gonna look funny there. And then you can tell you're trying to fix the
sun seems high.
Yeah, the sun's high.
So shade is your friend.
Yeah, you can't color grade that out of that.
Yep.
That name. Did not think I was gonna cry. We have came a long way from two 15-year-old lovebirds who thought we were in love then. Don't get me wrong. From the moment
I like
met you,
the reading though.
I knew that you would.
The emotion. That's good too, including that.
From the moment I met you, I knew you would be the one I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. We had no idea how many amazing moments we would have throughout the years ahead of us.
Audio to me sounds like it's been worked on quite a bit.
Yeah.
Are you guys hearing that too?
It's being, you can, again, you chose this. The grass behind it is probably making rustling, and he probably tried to fix the noise.
I was thinking you're getting some wind noise and trying to take that out, which just makes it sound pretty tinny.
Yeah.
A couple things. Yeah, the audio is big. The light is big. Also, the shot is.
It's not a good shot.
It's too. I don't like it.
It's just nothing. It's not a good shot.
It's not interesting. It's yeah. It feels,
you don't see her hands. There's no sense of like what she's doing.
Yeah. Having some cuts would be really helpful. I don't think that this is something that you need to record in full.
Or at least,
record the audio.
Yeah.
But like, get this shot. Get her hands. Get a close up on her eyes. Get a close up of her.
I always shoot this 2 cameras.
Or do that. Yeah, I mean that's the other option too.
Or shoot it back to back. Shoot it twice.
Yep.
Shoot it one time where she's reading it and you're getting good audio, and then shoot it the second time.
Yeah, you can do that.
Where the photographer is going click, 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 and you're just shooting her hands.
Yeah.
Like that's the Sharon special right there.
Yeah. Yep. That's good. All right. I mean, again, you're in control. Be the director. Make sure these
Ask
things
for
that
what
you're
you
control.
need.
Yeah,
That's
get
a
what
big
you
thing.
need, and live and learn though.
Moments like the time you sprinted through my yard, smacked your face straight to the ground. It was like your arms forgot how to work. Deep down, I just was so thankful God allowed you to be the one I was able to make these memories.
I like that
And
shot.
as I marry you today, I'm making a commitment to God and to you to give the
Oh, there
best
you go.
to you each
But-
and every day. I promise to be there for
There you
each
go.
and
See, it's
every
like there's that
Yep,
jitter.
dropping in, yeah.
I pray for your health, success, and safety each day.
It's too wide. I wish it was more like a 50.
If you're in the chat,
I like
That's
that
the lens
chat.
I wish you used right there. And at that focal
TN
length.
Reels, I don't believe is in the chat. He was briefly, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
if you're watching this is what I'll say. And if you're watching this and you're not TN Real, just anyone who's new, here's the deal. The photographer is always going to be like, I want to take them here where it's totally there, like they want to go to
I
total
want to go
shadow.
against this white wall because I can.
They
want
to shoot right here
photographer.
where it's total
Yeah.
shadow. And you need to tell them, like, that's going to be terrible for me because it's going to be like 6 stops different, the front of the groom to the background. Like,
Yeah.
or you need to just say, okay, this is going to be good, and you can't shoot that shot. You can't. If
Or
you have to
pretend to shoot it, the old pretend to shoot.
Yeah, in general though, like having that background, so much of the visual attention is drawn to how blown out those trees are. That's like all I can look at.
Yep.
So
just like 5 steps to your left, and you could shoot the backdrop against that barn and create those lines against him, and that would probably be a better angle, in my opinion, because you can still get what you're aiming for, and then if she's gonna follow behind him, she's gonna be in that kind of that shade right there pretty quickly. So.
even rotate the guy like 20 degrees, and you can
Yeah.
shoot that.
Oh, TN Reels is here.
Yep.
Terrence is here.
What's up, Terrence?
Oh, what's up, Brian?
Yeah, but I'm sure that the
Kodak's
photographer
right
was
now.
like, "Let's go here," and you got to tell him like, "Hey, actually, it's not good looking."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think one thing that I'm seeing consistently here is a really big shift in color.
Oh yeah.
Like, I know you've got some definite more like sunset-ish. I don't think it's full on sunset, but like closer to golden hour. And then you've got this like this, right? Like those.
Look
skin
at the
tones look
oranges.
good to me.
Look at the orange in the tree here.
Yeah.
This is the same trees. Look at them here.
Yeah.
That is what throws people off when you watch a film, is the continuity is totally off. So like the same trees, you want them to do the best of your ability to feel the same.
It seems like at 2 different parts of the day to me, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
I'm looking at the shot right before where it looks nice and goldeny and whatever that. And granted, you're gonna have some shift, right? It's different throughout the day. But then I'm going to the like shot of the bride and groom in front of that white barn. Their skin looks very green to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just the overall thing we're saying is, do your very best to. It's fine to show time of day exposure changes, but you do want the color to feel consistent, like it happened on the same film, and not like 3 different films. So moving on.
Hey, I knew what the dress looked like.
Stabilize that. Weird.
Isaac,
Isaac,
take you, Olivia,
take you, Olivia,
to be my wedded wife.
to be my wedded wife.
I, Olivia,
You want to watch that little audio bump you did there?
but my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband, to have and to hold,
From this day forward,
for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish, till death us do part.
according to God's holy plan.
I like it.
Olivia and Zach are a special couple. They're high school sweethearts.
I kind of like how that
Olivia's
looks.
been like the annoying
Yeah.
little sister.
The blacks, I think, could be a little more black.
Yeah, it could be a little
She
more
really
contrast in that.
It's
But I
milky.
couldn't imagine having a better aunt to my up-and-coming daughter, Sailor. I really couldn't. With marriage, God gives us great power, and with that comes great responsibility.
I'm curious why you aren't on a tripod for some of that.
I'm curious why you used a Spider-Man quote for your toast.
Dude.
Hey, that's not on Terrence.
No,
it's not
it's
on
just
Terrence.
it's just like I wish we could have a YouTube channel just for groomsmen to just to tell them like no one likes your speech.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's not good. Like your speech.
It's hard.
No, here's
Jason disagrees.
Here's my pet peeve it's not that they have to be eloquent, well spoken. It's just when it's way too long. But the number one thing is when there's nothing personal in the entire speech.
Yeah.
That is like, they don't say, it's like, do you like this person?
Dude, we give out a tip sheet like a month before, and there are specific sessions that's like, hey, if you're worried about your best man speech, like forward this to them.
That's interesting.
And it's literally like,
I like
it
that.
literally says like, hey, probably try to keep it, in the 5-ish minute range. Make sure you mention both people. Like,
yeah,
like
make sure you say something nice at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, can you roast them? Yes.
Yes,
Should
sure.
you only be roasting them? No.
It's so much. It's like literally like, and you're a total
I
dork.
love that tip sheet. I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a lot of
great.
stuff in there.
You should share that in the group.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a video on it or something.
That's great. But anyway, yeah, no. Okay, groomsmen. Moving on.
And I have no doubt that you and Olivia will overcome any
No.
obstacle thrown at you two.
AF fail. I don't like that. I don't like panning across.
Yep.
I mean, it's not anyone's fault. This part of this ceremony always is like, muh to me.
Yeah. I don't even include it usually.
People walking up the aisle. And I don't care about that stuff.
This is stuff I would cut out. I would make a video that's
And the
30 seconds
cars in the
shorter.
background.
Yeah, that's not really his fault though. Why would they set it up like that?
Exactly. I'm not blaming him. I'm just.
No.
That's why you don't show a ton of it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I don't want to get too savage on it, but like your bride coming down the aisle shot's gotta be better than that. Like,
I would go wider. Well, it's tough, right? Because like, I mean, he might be trying to eliminate all those cars. Like, that's such a terrible ceremony setup.
Yeah. No, but
Like,
it's
that's
just
such a bummer. To have
you
to
gotta
look
like
in
see
that.
her whole dress though.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Like, I don't know how you feel about it, but I just feel like
that was
No,
so
I agree.
tough,
I was gonna
Terrence.
say you should go wider
Yes.
That's
because
tough.
you'll have more time. But the problem
Maybe
is, like,
lower?
you have a whole parking lot
You
behind.
have the,
Like, what are you supposed to do?
Chrysler minivans.
maybe you get
Yeah.
really low into the grass.
Yeah.
And try
Get
to
low,
shoot over
shoot
the,
up. Try to do like a mid shot so you're getting trees instead of cars. Like, that's tough, dude. That's a tough shot.
Oh.
That's their fault.
We've got a really interesting comment to go over after we finish this
All right,
film.
let's move on. We'll end with that.
We're out. That autofocus. That's
Well, and also just like put a little stabilization on that. Just I know I'm like talking about that a lot.
That's a
but,
good
like,
shot, though.
That's a great
Yeah,
shot.
right there.
I
Yeah,
love
dude, the
everything
color's
about
freaking
that.
dope.
Yeah.
Look at the orange in the background.
That's like a high end, very high end looking shot. Good exposure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's been said, things sealed with a kiss.
Kiss.
Are you ready?
Love
to
it.
kiss that?
Yes, sure.
And that's pretty nice too.
That is nice.
We wait a little longer.
That's tough.
Oh, that zoom. No.
You may kiss your bride.
Hold your
That's
shot.
that was the 70 to 80 right there. The 10mm zoom.
That was a whole barrel.
My favorite person in life.
I like
We are
that
so
shot.
different,
Yeah, dude, the
but
groom shot
Way
is
better
nice.
than
in life.
the
I know
shot
your heart,
earlier
and
of
I
him
believe
reading
in
his
us
letter.
more than you could imagine. I can't wait to start our forever.
I gotta understand what's going on with that color. It's so weird.
Yeah, it seems like a totally different camera.
Stop it there. That was a weird audio transition to that song.
Fading your audio is one of the biggest, most important skills, but it's tough if you're not used to it.
So
Start our
can we
forever.
open that box
Yeah,
a little bit?
here we go. Let's just hear it really quick, and then let's talk about
Yeah.
theming music together. So, whoa. Because this is a skill that takes some time to learn, especially if you're not a musician or anything like that. So let's listen.
I believe in us more than you could imagine. I can't wait to start our forever.
Here's the issue there. Totally different key. That's one of them. Like you're they're not, we would say that that's creating probably dissonance. So you're kind of like, and it totally different beat. So what you need to do is what's called resolving. You have to resolve that previous song in some way before you start the next song.
DaVinci,
Yes.
resolve it.
That is exactly it. It feels like, Terrence, you're trying to make it seem like it's just a continuation of the same song where it's like there's no break. I would say for that, if you want to go with that song, create that break, fall off, and then boom, you're in the reception.
I want to hear something.
Bringing it back up.
Because what you can do in a lot of places is you can do a hard cut on the audio, on the music, and then use a speech or something to like kind of cover that area.
But want the same in life. I know your heart, and I believe in us more than you could imagine.
Start fading the song.
I can't wait to start our forever.
So you fade it down and say, I can't wait to start off forever with you. Boom. That, it would have felt fine.
With a pop, yep.
Like, instead of just kind of moving, and anyway. Oh, and now it's like
It's blasting.
Yeah.
This is another thing. You don't need to include everybody. That's my personal opinion.
yeah, I don't. When I see stuff like this, I
It's
either
just
think
filler.
they ran out of footage or
Yep.
they don't know it's not that interesting. I like this. This is fun though. Even though it's dorky, I love it. Overexposed though. You know what this looks like? This whole thing looks like high ISO shooting.
Yep.
It's that weird
I think
Sony.
you go. It looks like there is a light, so I think you can go way darker with your
Well,
eyes.
but this is like that. This is the Sony. When people are like, oh, you can shoot such high ISO. It's like, yeah, it will look like this. It's artificial because there's a softening that they do to reduce the noise. So you see the noise reduction. That's why it looks like alienish on their skin tone, like almost like they're kind of wet. I mean, that's gross. But like their skin is just unnaturally smooth. Like it's just like melting. But that's what it is. It's high ISO, like noise.
It's just washed out.
Noise reduction.
Washed out skin tones. That's it. Like he actually looks better because he actually has like red to his skin tone back there. But yeah,
She has a lot of green
it's
in her
tough. I
makeup.
think that might. Yeah, I think you're right though. High ISO on that.
Yeah, that's what the noise reduction does.
Yep.
It looks like that. It's just fascinating that we're blowing out this. How is that possible?
This is another thing I just never include. I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys.
Never. I mean, we don't have weddings. I can't remember the last time I shot a wedding that had anything resembling this. But
The old shoe game. I get them every now and then, but
I guess northeastern people.
so your lights. I see your lights there. They look really low.
Yeah, you got to get them higher. Actually,
gonna
this
help
is
you
a
a
gear
lot.
thing for everybody. One of the number one things that will change how your films look is getting 12-foot stands.
Yep.
That extra.
And getting a Fresnel or
Yeah.
a Fresnel mount or whatever.
Yep, that's true. But a 12-foot stand and like getting the actual directionality on your light set, so it's not like 10 feet or even worse. It will really make it look a lot better. I agree. They're a little low.
Terrence, I would also, give you the advice I'd give to Andrew is look at your histogram too, because a lot of those moments are pretty blown out on people's faces. Like the side the light's on, you're just completely blown out. So
Her makeup is so green.
I don't think it is. That's just high ISO.
Yeah, and you didn't have to go high ISO because you had enough light.
Yeah.
Like so blown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So I would have. Yeah, I like the other shot. I mean, if you would have exposed it better, I think that kissing shot is a better ending. And you just had an extra like 20 seconds in there.
Okay,
Maybe
let
doesn't
me give some actual. Besides, I was grimacing because it's so blown out, but I can give some actual feedback on when you are new to shooting sparkler exits, or maybe you're not good at them, whatever the reason. Don't forget that those sparklers bring light, and they bring a light with a color to it. So you have to white balance for the sparklers and expose for the sparklers. Especially, there's essentially functioning as your key light on the couple. It looks like you do have some light on the front though, but don't forget that's going to contribute. So like you can't just expose for the light. Once those sparklers get added, it's going to add more light. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
personally, I mean, at the end of the night, sparklers, I usually don't backlight them. It seems like an obvious moment, but I really love the way sparklers look on people's faces. It lights themselves. Like it's like you don't have to add to that. But that's a personal
I
preference.
backlight them.
Do you backlight them?
I
If
I
I
backlight
can.
them, but I make it as orange as possible. Just so I can get more separation.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like here's a light. I want it to more just be like they have nice separation, but not. I think key light sometimes is better for
I
sparkler
backlight
exits.
them up at like a 45-degree angle from where they are, though. Not
Yeah,
directly behind them.
Not
No,
directly
not
behind.
directly
Also,
behind.
I
No.
throw blue
Yeah, that's
light.
good. Interesting.
Huh?
He
I
throws
don't
blue
do,
light.
I don't do orange light. Really
Yeah.
at all. I don't bring gels. Actually,
yeah.
that's not true. I do, but I almost never use them.
I just crank the Practilite and make it as orange as possible.
I think that's interesting.
Which you can use
Bob.
our code WFS25 and get 25% off your Practilite.
Which is a pretty killer deal.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Really killer deal. Bobby, I think that's interesting that you do a 45-degree. I think that is actually pretty nice in my head.
I mean, 45-ish. I don't know. It's just it's not directly behind.
But you probably have like a 12-foot stand. It's up high.
Yep.
It's down.
Yep,
As
as high as
opposed
I can
to
get it.
You're not trying to flare, from behind people and create this.
No,
like,
yeah, I'm not trying
thing.
to get any sun flare
Yep,
or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
would
just
do,
trying
too.
to separate them.
Yep.
That's
yep.
it.
I think that's a good call. I like that idea in my brain.
But I also think you can probably get away with not doing it because the light is from a sparkler. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
lean
you
into
can.
the sparkler light, you go with the light. My only thing is a lot of times I'm like people don't anticipate how orange sparkler light is, and I like it to be warm. Like it needs to be warm. You don't want
It's
it to
like
be
over warm though.
But they need to kind of cool it down a little bit, and you see that
Yeah.
a lot with sparklers.
Michael, we do plan to do a video on the Practilite, so we will be doing that very shortly with a battery. We're doing a BTS video of a wedding I shot over the weekend that's coming out this next week that's using 2 Practilites, and so you can kind of see it. I don't really dive that deep into the Practilite, but that will be for you. Just for you.
So let's go over the stuff we like about the film. I think there's this right here is a great shot. Like this would be on my
there's
website.
like these like interspliced, like really, really solid shots.
Yep. Terrence, you're a good shooter, man. I think you have the right idea. I think it's just translating that to practicality. And also it seems like you're shooting by yourself almost all the time. And maybe that is the next step, is just like getting an assistant, if you don't have one, to help you with those angles. Like the angles you seemed like you struggled with were like the first look, it's just blowing out. If you had an assistant who actually knew what they were doing, they would be able to kind of refocus that to a position where it wasn't completely blown out. So just little things like that can probably go a long way for you. And but you have a great idea, man. That shot deserves to be on the cover of like the knot.com. That's dope looking.
Yeah, it's really good. That would be like, that's a website shot.
Yep.
And there's a couple shots like this throughout. And so I will say the blowing out the ceremony or basically the whole reception, and then the alien skin tones, like that low light stuff, you got to work on that you got to get a concept for low light receptions, a look that you like, and just try to reproduce that look every time. Don't if you're flying by the seat of your pants, I get it, but at the end of the day, like don't put yourself in a position where you're doing this and you're kind of just like, whoa, what am I trying to get?
Mm-hmm.
How am I trying to make it look? Yep. Oh shoot! Like I could tell, like it felt panicky. It felt like you were just rushed and really like we're just like you didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah,
you didn't feel comfortable. That's the way
I think it is because, like I said, I think I remember Terrence really shooting a lot of gimbal shots in the last film he submitted. It was almost all gimbal work. So this transition to, I don't really remember a lot of gimbal shots in this wedding. I think it's mostly handheld, completely kind of different style. So I want to circle back. Bobby, what was that comment that Michael made?
Yeah,
earlier?
so that was from Michael. He was saying, because that was one of the first ones, and we were talking about shooting handheld.
Yep.
He's saying he did not shoot anything handheld. He shot everything on a gimbal in sport mode to emulate a handheld look.
Wow.
Maybe that's why the thing was going like that. Maybe that's why.
you had us fooled, Michael. So congratulations to you.
Because this was the backyard wedding.
Yep.
Right?
That's really interesting. I would
dude.
I wonder why you would do that. I mean, it's definitely got a certain look. It felt really good. Really,
it was great.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Handheld. Like there was a lot of the handheld that we liked in it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
There were a
great.
couple of shots where I was like, use a gimbal, which apparently you were, but
I didn't really, and I didn't even feel that way. I just felt like a couple times I just wanted it to be still.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the probably the only critiques that we had was maybe it could feel a little bit smoother at times, and then kind of give that handheld jolt.
Yeah. That's really interesting, though.
Really interesting. Yeah. Good work, Michael. It's good.
Loved it. It was really, I mean, yeah, and you're just great, Michael. So the end.
Keep submitting.
Keep submitting because it gives us joy to watch your films. So, like, I don't want to be too savage, but I do want to be really clear with you. You have to you can't overexpose like a reception like that, because it's back to every moment you had control over. You didn't nail your exposure, and so it makes me wonder what if you're really making an effort to make that important or not, because like when you have control of the light at a reception to some degree. You have control of where they sit to read their letters. You have control over where the first look is. Those are all things you control. You gotta those are the times of days where you're like, I need a good exposure here. So like really, really like try to make yourself give a good exposure during that, and don't you can't walk away with like blown out. And when it's dark, like especially when it's dark.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
I mean, that's all I have. Guys, I did want to mention the Wedding Film School show. Every single week, we release Monday. Usually, Tuesday. Tuesday morning.
Around 8 a.m.
Yeah, right around there.
And then we're testing the time for the release on the YouTube. I'm trying to figure out what the best time to drop the YouTube video.
Okay,
for
Dad,
people.
on the YouTube.
The YouTube release.
Yeah. We're currently doing a series on why your business plan sucks. And it's kind of just like it's a serious deep dive. And I think it's been beneficial to some who have listened in, our one listener.
Yeah, we have all kinds of downloads for helping you build a business plan.
Yep. Really great. Yeah, the downloads have been great. Just essentially homework, because wedding videographers love homework.
Nobody loves being organized more than wedding filmmakers.
Yeah, that's right. And so we're doing that. As usual, we have just fantastic guests. Who do we have on this next week, Jay?
We actually have
is it Victor?
Yeah, we have Victor from Fujifilm.
Victor is the regional sales director, marketing director.
He's head of marketing for Fujifilm USA.
Very impressive title from Fujifilm. He's our friend. And he's here to talk about just Fujifilm, cameras, nerd stuff.
It's actually, no, this is what I'm going to say about this. It kind of made me emotional.
Okay.
When I was doing the interview, because you're watching a guy who works at a camera company and like reminding me why I love making images. Mm-hmm. He wasn't trying to sell me a camera. He was like talking from the heart about filmmaking and image making and how important it is.
Yep.
And just like giving people cameras on the street just because people need a real camera in their hands. And like, it's really inspiring and a really great interview. And I can't wait to drop it next Tuesday.
Yep. Really awesome. As usual, find us on Facebook, be involved in the conversations there. Bring up conversations that you want to talk about, problems that you're having. As you know, weddings are kicking off again. We're going to do this every single week. Continue to do so. We're committed to you guys.
Yeah.
And
why don't we drop our sponsor one more time before we go?
Yes. Very many thanks to YOLO Live, creators of the YOLO box. You can see it right here. Let's see if the light can catch it. It's nice and dusty. So all-in-one live streaming, switching device. Love this device. This makes live streaming so easy. Plug your cameras in.
Do the live
Plug your
stream.
audio in. Do the live stream. You just hit go, and then it goes. But seriously, it is very simple. Much simpler than bringing a laptop and using OBS and a capture card and all this stuff. So very, very easy device. It works great. We've all used it. We've all loved it. Built pretty well. You can record from it too, which is pretty cool. So you can just put an SD card in here and record So yeah, check it out. I just posted the link. Many thanks to them for sponsoring this video. And you can make that back so easy. Like
Yeah.
$800, $900, something like that. That is literally 1 gig and you've paid it off. So
Bobby, would you also say if someone was like breaking into your home and you had a YOLO box on your nightstand that you could throw it at?
I've thought about all the things I could use as weapons in my room. You have a
you
rack
could
of
defend
weapon.
yourself with it. Hey,
multiple
actually
uses.
talk about,
That's what I'm saying.
I literally talk about how I have used this for my ring shots before.
Yeah,
So
it's
There you
great.
go.
So
Nice
I just want to give you guys a
reflective surface.
reminder. Head over here. Here's a giveaway. Buddingfilm.school. If you have not signed up,
I'll post it up.
There's a secret code you get, which is an extra entry into this contest. There's a bunch of ways to enter, but we're doing the giveaway next Thursday. Join. What do you think? Should we do websites next week? What do you guys want in the chat? Do you want films? Do you want websites? Do you want pricing, packaging, reviews?
You want something else? Mystery that we don't know about.
Yeah. What?
And be prepared for the weekly Jared makes a drink in front of everyone.
Do you want me and Jared to do a bartender old-fashioned mix-off?
I would love that. Yeah. A mix off.
going down.
I love that. A mix off. And Jason can DJ, so he's in the mix as well.
Yep.
So it'll
And
be
then we
great.
can each try our own one since we're like 2,000 miles away and tell each other how ours are better.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect.
Okay, can I just say, what do you have to use the same whiskey, or is the whiskey you choose part of the?
I mean, I think that can be part of it. Sometimes
I think it
it's
has
just
to be
like,
a
what do I
part
have
of it.
most of? You know,
It has to be a part of it because, like, what if one of you guys is a Scotch man? What if one of you guys is Japanese whiskey?
We'll have to check in and see if YOLO Live is gotten into distilling because they could be a show spot.
Maybe we'll have YOLO Lives, single cask.
That's it.
We'll bring whatever his name is from Yellow Live on to test our.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah,
Frank is going to review it. We'll mail it to China.
Yeah.
Frank will review our old fashions. We have really digressed. We have really digressed. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight on the live stream. We will see you next week. Don't forget to submit films. Bye, guys.
See ya.